ladies and gentlemen. My name is Terry Petrovick, and welcome to Straight Talk on the Home Business Radio Network. This is Positive Powered Radio. Today we have a very, very special guest. I am so excited. Our guest is Karol Nichols, and Karol actually is the editor-in-chief of a brand new magazine, which you absolutely have to get your hands on, called Live Happy. Karol, thanks so much for being on the show today.
My pleasure, Terry. We're so excited about this wonderful opportunity, and we love being on your show.
Oh, thanks so much. Well, let's just jump straight in, and let's just talk a little bit about why Live Happy. You know, why have a magazine that's focused just on happiness?
You know, it's really very simple. People who ask each other the question, would you rather be rich or happy? Would you rather have your children be happy or be successful? Most people will say, I really love my children to be happy, and I want myself to be happy. Happiness is universal. So living happy is a wonderful goal for a magazine to have. It's a universal need and interest, and today there's new science of what indeed it means to be living happy.
So who's the primary person? Is there any one demographic, young, old, somebody in corporate America or working a job or an entrepreneur? Or?
You know, I think it is very much an audience who perhaps has lived a little bit, and they might have responsibility to other people. A lot of happiness is living a happy life means helping others. So we think this is an audience that is wise, mature, but also really is looking out for the other person, the parent or the child or the friend. And we think that that person really is somebody who crosses all kinds of demographics. That could explain, you know, to me why this is such a big magazine. We're starting out, we're brand new, like you said, but we think we're going to be a very big magazine very quickly.
Well, you know, I'll have to tell our listeners, you know, I've gotten the magazine, I've probably read it 4 times, and I'm always referring back to the articles. You know, we've got the holiday season coming up, and you've got suggestions. I mean, little things. That's really what I love about the way you guys have put this message, I'll just call it, because there's so much information there, is it's presenting it in a way that I guess a simple guy like myself can really understand it and actually do something and create my own happiness ripple.
And that is so incredible, Terry. You really have the message. You're living the message. I agree. On page 46, for example, it is 25 gifts of happiness, perfect for the holidays. I'll just give you one. Give together gifts. In other words, nothing. You don't have to wrap it. You don't have to go out and do the shopping. You just need to agree that you're going to give time to a loved one. Meals you'll cook together. Sunrises you'll get up to see together. Books you'll read before bedtime. Things you can do together, and those gifts will remain so important to your relationship. But anybody can do it, just like you said.
Talk a little bit about some of the data and the research, because I know this is just not a feel-good magazine. There's some hard science and clinical information behind it.
That is so true, and Terry, that's another reason why the magazine is so unique. It really has both the science and the art of happiness in one place. Science is really about positive psychology. This was something that was birthed only about 20 years ago, but now we have lots and lots and lots of data from that science. For example, we know there are different kinds of happiness. One is a kind of in-the-moment kind of pleasure. So it means, you know, an ice cream cone or a new car. But those things are, at the moment, just pure pleasure. Other things are more long-term pleasure, and those long-term happiness might have some pain. For example, being a parent. Being a parent means that you're going to be there through the thick and thin. It's going to have ups and downs, but fundamentally most people feel like that is one of the most rewarding things in their long life. So we understand now the need for both a short-term happiness and long-term happiness, how our body reacts differently from A to B. And once people know that, they understand how they can lace long-term happiness into their life.
One of the things that I personally have experienced, my dad, for example, if you've ever seen the show All in the Family, he's kind of like Archie Bunker. In fact, my mom calls him Archie Bunker. So, people who are raised in, and I had a wonderful childhood, don't misread what I'm saying, but people who are raised in somewhat of a negative environment where there's not a lot of happiness or praise, can they break out of that shell?
It's really an amazing thing what people are able to do. We all know situations where somebody has gone through trauma or tragic, and life is tough. We're all going to have those bumps. And yet some people seem to come out the other end of that dark tunnel and have a new, positive outlook on life. We now know that there is indeed such a thing called post-traumatic growth. Instead of post-traumatic stress, your body actually thinks of those two things as being the same. So it explains why there is such a thing as grit and resilience and that euphoric sense of success when you've gotten through something that's terribly hard to get through. So yes, it's a perfect example of how the magazine brings together real life, real struggles, and helps people get through them.
Well, is there an organizational consistency in terms of breakdown of certain sections that people can expect to read or learn about with every issue?
Yeah, we have a lot of people, too, that contribute to the magazine. We have Sean Aker, who is a fantastic author in this arena, and we actually have an excerpt from Sean in the very first issue, but he'll be contributing in the front of the book on relationships. He and his wife, Michelle, are expecting their first child, and so they'll be writing about positive parenting in the upcoming issue. We also have lots and lots of doable ideas in a section called Now, and you just mentioned some very, quick and easy things to do. In this issue, in the Now section, people will find ways to teach their kids to actually give to each other and to give back. And so we also have standing features on celebrities. Our first issue featured Ron Howard and his new movie. Oh. Ron Howard is a perfect example of a very happy person, and he has had a life where he made choices to raise his family in Hollywood, but bring the kids and his wife with him wherever he worked, and they are a very close and loving family. So it's a perfect example of celebrity but happiness being brought together. So those kinds of things will appear in every issue.
So it's going to have personal stuff I've heard about family and that. And is there also going to be some things on how happiness relates to somebody with their home-based business and how they can produce more, sell more, or be more?
Absolutely. And in fact, this is one of the very most, engaging parts of happiness. Studies have shown that if you are happy at work, you are going to actually be more successful at work, not the other way around. A lot of people have it backwards. And so in the first issue, we actually, again, go back into positive psychology, find the results where they show that if you have compassion and if you have a culture at work where people care for each other, that actually the bottom line is improved. So yes, there's lots of things in the magazine that people who want to work happy and be happy and live happy will find great ideas in it.
Talk a little bit about, and you've touched on it already, the uniqueness of, because there's lots of buzz out there. There's, we've seen some movies, like the movie called Happy, and, there's the movie The Secret and those things. What can your readers expect that is uniquely you in terms of the Live Happy magazine community, and so what's unique about that, and then how can they participate in that?
Well, those are really great questions, Terry. It seems to us that the very first thing is that we are the only magazine devoted totally to happiness. We have had plenty of coverage of happiness lists, happiness quotations around the world in major media, both, as you said, in print as well as TV and certainly in film. But no one has focused 100% of their efforts on happiness. So that makes us really unique and really well-timed. The world is changing so quickly. Technology has made us so able to get so much information every day, every moment, that some of that needs to be balanced. And a lot of people feel like they're getting a lot of negative data in their everyday life that they cannot control. Well, this is one place where they can spend time with Live Happy, and it's a very positive message. And we think that's a need. It's a balance that we need today in our lives. And as far as getting involved, you can join the Live Happy movement. Just go to our website. It's livehappymagazine.com. You can subscribe to the magazine there. You can read more articles online for free. And you can get involved by just talking with our friends and new readers on Facebook.
Now, one of the things that I read in the magazine is that when you give, you certainly feel better about yourself. And I just want to applaud you, Karol, for what you and your team are doing there, because, I'm on the livehappymagazine.com website, and there is so much information about self-improvement, relationships, lifestyle, work, science, practice, and there's blogs, and it's just, you really, really are delivering the goods in terms of making a major, major movement. So I just really want to applaud you for doing that. That's amazing. I don't even know how you do that.
Well, Terry, thank you. I so appreciate hearing those words, and believe me, I'm going to carry them right back home to the team here, because we are very dedicated to this. We do want the world to be a happier place, and we think it's possible. That underscores what you said. It is something that if you get involved at your own personal level. Happiness is a very personal thing, and it's really up to individuals to make their own lives happier.
So I know that we can certainly subscribe. Are there any ways that we can maybe share and give the gift of happiness to family members across the country?
You can do that very well online. They can be happiness ambassadors, and you actually get your friends to also sign up, and that becomes your happiness network. And then through the app that we have online, you can actually track your happiness reach. So all these things are things that, like I said, it's just so easy and so possible for people to do in just a few moments. So, Terry, I hope you get to do that as well.
Oh, I'm already doing it. You can believe that. My happiness ripple is not as big as I want it to be, but hey, we're just getting started. But I'm just so excited about spreading the word. And as I'm out there talking to other entrepreneurs, when I start the conversation out, people say, "What do you do?" I say, "Well, I'm working on." And I'm part of a happiness movement, creating a happiness ripple. And it's very interesting because they kind of squint their eyes, they tilt their head, and are like, what? And then as I start telling this story and then, talk about the magazine, it's like, wow, that's incredible. So, Karol, again, I can't say enough for what you and your team are doing. I think, every once in a while we're in the right place at the right time with the right people, and you and certainly the Live Happy team are doing a phenomenal job. Any closing thoughts or anything you want to share with our listeners?
Well, Terry, again, thank you for this opportunity. I hope that we can do this again. It really is something that we know is needed. We also know that it is something that people can do. It's just really up to individuals, and thank you for being one of those, Terry.
Well, it's certainly my pleasure. And you folks listening, be sure you go to livehappymagazine.com. Check out that website, subscribe to the magazine, and I think you will be thrilled with what you see. Be sure to connect with us on happytosuccess.com. Remember this, my friends, we're in this together. Live happy, stay young, inspire others. Until next time, make it a better than terrific day and a prosperous one, because you absolutely deserve it. Bye-bye for now.